Hey everybody, my name is Kids Coding and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be learning about the 9 types of tables. But before we get started, we need to make a table. So right here, I've already made a table. You can copy off of mine, or if you already know how to make one, you can make one yourself. But yeah, we need to have a table in order to establish the different kinds of tables there are. These different kinds of tables essentially sort of modify the tables. They make it look cooler, and they kind of add a little bit of a bonus to the table, I guess you can say. So right here you see the table is a little bit unorganized. So this is where we're going to get into the first kind of table. So the first kind of table is just the default table. This right here is just a bunch of information, but we want to sort it into a table. This is where the default table class is going to solve this problem. So if we go right here into the table, this table right here, it's going to modify the change to the whole table. T head is the heading of the table. That is right up here. That is only going to make the changes to the heading. And TR is the row of the table. And if you add anything in there, it's only going to change the row. So that's why we're going to often going to make our changes in the table, because it's going to change the whole table, not the heading or not only the row. So let's get in and let's add a class, because we want to organize this information into a table, which is why we're putting a table class table. And now when we save it and reload, the browser will now organize that information into, and it makes it look nicer, and it makes it like a table. So that's the first kind of table. That's just all it really is that it's just a regular table. It's a default table. The second kind of table is just simply a stripe table. So all we have to do to make it a stripe table is we go into the table and we add table stripe. Once again, we're only going to make the change in the table because we want the whole table to change. We don't want the heading to change or the row to change. So remember to make the changes in the table. Sometimes we are going to change it in the row. That's because we only want the row to make the change. But if you want to change the whole table, you're going to have to edit your code in the table tag. So we edited in the table tag, and then we added table stripe. Don't remove the first table. Add table stripe after. Don't remove it, because then that's not going to set up the official foundation of the table. What I mean by that is that it's not going to organize the information. It's just going to make it look messier. So we need to have the first table for that. So we need the original table as a base. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, we need it as a base, and it's just a base class. So don't remove it, just add table stripe after. I hope that makes sense. So just keep table the way it is, and then add table stripe, because we want to have the base table. So now when we reload, it's going to look like the zebra stripe. If this wasn't your result, then something probably happened inside your code. You probably did not edit in the table tag, or you forgot to add table stripe after and you deleted the original table. Remember not to do that. We need that base. We need that base of the table. So that's how table stripe works, and that's the second kind of table. The third type of table is what's called a border table. This is going to give the table its borders. All we just have to do to make it bordered is that we just add table border. Right here we have table, you can just add table border, just like that. And we're done. Save it and reload it. Once again, don't remove table and keep it in the table tag. And now the browser will show us a border table, just like this. And that's the third type of table. The fourth type of table is just a Hubbard table. What this is going to do is that if you hover your mouse over the row, then all that's going to really do is that it's kind of going to give like a little bit of a gray. It's going to like change it to a grayish color. So let me do that. So all we're just doing is that we're just going to add table hover, just like that. It's just simple and efficient, just like that. So all you do is add table hover inside the table tag. So let's save it there and reload. you see that it's just a regular table, but when we hover our mouse, you see it becomes gray. And that's what table hover allows us to do, hence why it's called hover. Because when we hover our mouse over the table row, it's going to make it hover. If I were to add one more row and then put the table hover, then that would also make the change, because when we're doing it in the table tag, it's gonna make change to the whole table. So because I only have one row, you see it's only gonna do it to this row. But if I were to add one more row, it's also going to apply the same effects. It's also going to be gray when I hover my mouse over. It's not only for this row. Hope that makes sense, but that's how that works. And then now we have the fifth type of table. The fifth type of table is just a dark table. It's like dark mode on a phone. So if I were to just come over here and I would make it table dark. This is the only change we're doing. Keep table the way it is and add it in the table tag. We save it and come over here and reload, and it's a dark table. Just like that, simple, easy, efficient. We can also add a little bit of a bonus to the dark table. We can combine it with a couple other things like table striped and table hover, which can simply be done by just adding table dark like what we did, and then we can add table striped after it. And what that's going to do is that it's going to make it dark as well as it's going to make it striped. You're not able to see it properly, but it's like right there. It's like the video is probably not going to show it properly, but it's a little bit of a darker, it's a little bit of a lighter shade of black. So I'd say it's like gray. So it's a darker shade of gray, a lighter shade of black. So it's in between the two. But yeah. And then you have table hover. You can stack it with that too. So you reload it, you hover your mouse, and you can kind of see the color difference. You can try it on your own. I don't think the video is going to be able to show it properly, but yeah, that's how table hover works. I'm pretty sure you're able to combine both of them if you really wanted to, but I kind of doubt it. So let's say you combine both of them. Yeah, you're not gonna really see the change in the color because they're both because they're both like the same kind of color-ish. So yeah, you can combine both of them, and those are all the different combos you can do with table dark. So that's the fifth type of table. The sixth type of table is a borderless table. So this is the complete opposite of the border table, the third type of table. So all we just do is we add borderless, just like that, and it's gonna give the table no borders at all. So it's just gonna make the table look like that. So you see in like the original table, let's say table class table. In the original table, you probably must have seen that. What did I do? Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. In the original table, you saw that gray line. However, if we add table borderless after it, just like that, I think, yeah. Let's save it and reload. And you see that the gray line is gone. So it's just a regular table on its own. It's still going to make the table look organized. Like I said, like at the beginning, if we just added table without the class, without the extra elaboration, then it would just be a bunch of stuff clumped together. But this time it actually spaces it out, but like there's nothing to like group them. So yeah, it's just like a bunch of words like that. So it just gives the table no borders at all, as simple as it is. Next, we have the seventh type of table, and this is where things actually get a little bit interesting. The seventh type of table is what's called contextual tables. These give parts of a table their colors. This time we're going to leave the table class alone. So let's leave it alone. Just make it table, just like that. Or how about we add table class table, like that. We're going to leave it alone, and we're going to go over to the row, or the TR tag right here, and we're going to make our changes here. Like I said, we're making the changes here because we're going to have each row its own color. You can do whatever you want. You can change it to the table itself, but I prefer just having it on the row, just like that. I'm going to do it right down here because I don't want to have it on the first row. So I'm going to do it on the second row, and all we're just going to really do is that we're just going to do TR class table. And then from here you can pick whichever one of the Bootstrap color codes you want. So you can do danger, you can do primary, you can do secondary, You can do all the kinds of Bootstrap table color code. You can do all the kinds of Bootstrap color codes there are in there. So there's like a lot of different kinds. But I'm gonna go with danger for now. Danger is just red. And all that's really gonna do is that's just gonna make the road red. As simple as it is. I can go over here and make this a different color. So let's say I wanted to make it style. And that's my sign wrong. There we go. And then oh, it doesn't work there. Oh yeah, unfortunately it doesn't work there. I gotta make changes to the heading in order for that. So it only works on this row. So if you're using my table, make sure you understand that we use the table row class. We add it here in the first one because the first one is kind of like your heading. So we don't want to put the changes to the heading. We want to make the changes to the information inside the table. So that's why we added in the second one. And that is the 7th type of table. The 8th type of table is the heading tables. So what this is that we go into the T head. So we're going to add a heading to the table. So if you want to make your changes to the headings, all you just got to do is you got to edit in the T head. That's all what that is for. So you go over here and you go to T head class, and then all you do is you add T head and then dark. And then we go over here and you see that it's dark. I'm pretty sure you can do whatever color you want. You can do light too. I think it's light. It's gonna show a little bit of a grayish kind of color. You can even do a custom color, I believe. No, you can't. So it only works with 2 colors. It only works with light and it only works with dark. The headings are kind of strict on that way, but yeah, those are the 2 kinds of things that you can do to change the heading. So if you want to change the heading, you have to do it in the T head class. If you're going to change the information in the table, you're going to use the TR class. You're going to use the TR tag. And if you're going to make the change to the table itself, you're going to go make the changes in the table class. And that is the 8th type of table. The 9th and the final type of table are the sizes of the table. Inside the table, we can add a class with table small. We keep the table base like this. We go back to the table tag and we keep the table base, and all we just do is we add table small. Just like that, quick, easy, and simple, and it makes the table small. Come back here, we reload, and now the table kind of shrinked a little bit and it made it small. We can make the table bigger, so we can make the table large, and it will make the table like that. And that is the 9 types of tables. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Also, all this code will be in the description below, or it will be in the comments. I'll probably put them in both, so that in case you weren't able to catch all of it, you can just get it all in the comment or in the description down below. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. They both help the video out in a really significant way. And that's pretty much it, and I'll see y'all next time.